And it's because we have predicted many events accurately. We've talked about so many things that were in government documents that months or years or a decade later become mainstream media. That's why we're getting on so many stations. That's why this show is growing so fast, because finally station managers and radio executives and the population, the listeners who heard me as a guest in the thousands and thousands, I've probably done more than 5,000 radio interviews the last 15 years. I was doing radio interviews before I had a radio show. Because most people once or twice have heard me or seen videos I've produced, and they would laugh at it at the time or say, look at this nut, and then years later they'd see it in their face admitted. And I go back to a parallel to this. Back in the 1950s, you can pull up the actual date when La Cosa Nostra and the hearings were admitted in Congress. But, you know, you have this FBI director who's in there for 20-something years, up until the 50s. He'd been there, since the 30s, J. Edgar Hoover, or even earlier. And he would go around saying it's a conspiracy theory that La Cosa Nostra exists, because he was being paid off by La Cosa Nostra. Now, everybody knows the mafia is real now, the Italian mob. And that's how stupid all of this is. Everything I'm talking about is completely real. It's there. You can't just deny it and make it go away. Just like in the 50s, if they said the mob didn't exist. Now that sounds silly, doesn't it? Well, 9/11's an inside job. And I'm going to go over it when we come back. Stay with us. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go live in the second, third, and fourth hour today at prisonplanet.tv.
Your own personal Jesus.
And the entire second hour I'm going to devote to Building 7, the key to unlocking 9/11. Oh, you have all the other sectors and areas of the 9/11 attacks. Every one of them proves total inside job. And the official story, of course, makes no sense, has been proven to be a lie. 6 of the 10 commissioners say it's a lie, a cover-up. That's only in the back of the newspaper. The head lawyer, Farmer, says it was a criminal cover-up by the Pentagon. And their official story makes no sense. But then once you realize how they really carried it out, then it all fits together perfectly, and you can see how they did it. How'd they set up the underwear bomber? It was part of a drill. We told you that day one. The eyewitnesses came out. Even before 2009 was over, the Christmas Day bombing. And then 2 months later, the Undersecretary of State, Mr. Kennedy, said, well, yes, we were ordered by an unnamed U.S. intelligence agency to give him a visa and help him get on the plane. The FBI had said the witnesses at the airport and the Haskells were lying. And, of course, they weren't lying when they saw the government get him on the airplane with no passport and no ID. And they were videotaping the whole thing on board the craft. And the young moron Patsy thought it was a drill. Same thing on 9/11. We know Muhammad Atta and others were trained at U.S. military bases, AP, Newsweek, San Jose Mercury News. And it's even on record. Yeah, it's weird. They were trained at bases, but we're not going to have a big discussion about that. And yeah, the government was running live action drills, seeing if they could insert Arabs on planes. And yeah, we've got the recordings where there were real airphone calls made, not the magic cell phones that couldn't work at 30,000 feet, with the stewardesses saying, I can't breathe. There's something in the air. The planes take off. They think it's a drill. They nerve gas, remote control the aircraft into the buildings. That's what happened, okay? But see, I can back up every millimeter of what I just said. And that whole area of the hijackers trained at U.S. bases, that's only conservatively 1/1000th of the issues. I mean, no exaggeration. Within 1 month of 9/11, I had done a 2-hour Road to Tyranny film. The first version. That only offered for a few months, and I made the official version and released it in February, a few months later, of 2002, where I went over more than 500 mainstream news articles, disproving the official story. You know, that's what's sick about this. The truth really comes out. And then if anyone looks at the raw reporting and all the information and points it out, they say, oh, that doesn't exist, you're insane. That's what I'm going to talk about in the next hour, just with Building 7 and the new information that's come out. Is that it's not even new information. It's just another national reporter going, yeah, I was there. And yeah, they were going to blow up Building 7. What's the big deal? What's the big deal with blowing up Building 7? After Silverstein has said they didn't blow up Building 7, after he went on TV and said we blew up Building 7. And then it's not just that. I have all this video of CNN, Fox, you name it, of firefighters and police saying, get back, and you hear the explosions going off, and they say that building's about to completely blow up, and then 10 seconds later it does. I mean, I heard them on the news on ABC radio saying they were going to blow it up 15 minutes before they did, and then I go on air and I say, here they are saying they were going to blow it up, and they say, shut up, you un-American piece of trash, nobody blew that up. Shut up, you un-American piece of trash. The hijackers weren't trained at U.S. military bases. It doesn't matter if at the Defense Language School, the dean, Colonel Stephen Butler, went public and said, this is a government operation in a letter to the San Jose Mercury News. These people were trained at our base. I don't know exactly what happened, but Ada sat in my classroom. Okay? I'll tell you what this new information pertains to and why it's so upsetting to me. Because every time we get proven right, it doesn't make me happy. It makes me sick. But let me tell you something. If we don't own up to who's running our country and how bad it is, 9/11 is nothing compared to what these murderers are going to do. And you are the target. You remember that. We are back live. I'm going to go live at 8 after at prisonplanet.tv for the last 2 hours and 52 minutes of this radio broadcast for people that want to be able to see the videos, not just hear the audio, and see all the government documents and articles. And I'll read over what Jeffrey Scott Shapiro of Fox News said about the day he was on 9/11. This is his eyewitness account. And he's just completely bought into the mass delusion. As a reporter, Silverstein wanted to blow up Building 7 while it was on fire. But Silverstein has said they never wanted to blow up Building 7, that they didn't blow up Building 7, and that Pullitt meant that he had said, get the firefighters out at 4:30 in the afternoon when the firefighters have been pulled out at around noon. See, everything he says is a lie. But the FBI is not going to do anything. The Justice Department's not going to do anything. The Pentagon's not going to do anything. The local police aren't going to do anything. And so, of course, the bankers are going to take all your pension funds. Of course, they're going to double your local power bill. Of course, they're going to take everything you got. Because they can blow Kennedy's head off in front of everyone and have 50-something witnesses that saw the man behind the bushes shoot the gun and blow his head off. And, you know, they tell you didn't see that. So what? They kill a few witnesses, everybody shuts up. Doesn't matter if you've got people in the train control station 50 yards away that saw it all happen. Men get off a green pickup and shoot Kennedy. They just killed him. He wouldn't change his story, so they killed him. They'll just kill whoever they want. They'll kill 1 million Iraqis. They'll kill 3,000 Americans. They'll take everything we've got. They'll poison our water. They'll sterilize us through the vaccines. It's real funny to these people. They're killers. You understand that? Kill us all and let God sort us out. We're all weeds to the New World Order. There's 6.5 billion of us, and they want the world's resources, and they don't need us anymore with robotics and technology. And they made the decision 50 years ago to set up a total world government and just slaughter every stinking one of us. And you're sitting there with your thumb crammed in your mouth, sucking on it right now, going, listen to this nut, honey. Or you're a cop sitting in your car laughing. Listen to me. This isn't funny, okay? Get past your deep-seated cowardice. Deep down, you're scared deep down. Deep down, you know this is the truth. Deep down, you remember hearing them on the radio and TV saying they were going to blow up 7 and then saying they never blew it up.